Yeah, well, Thelon River, May 13th, day 55 was a really tough day today. The wind blew really strong all last night from the northwest, and taking down the tent this morning was pretty tricky. It's when you're doing it alone, you have to be very careful that the tent doesn't get away from you and blow away. But I got the tent down, headed out, and it was cloudy at first. The wind was probably about 35 miles an hour, and then a couple of hours in, it started clearing off, and the wind intensified. Had a regular windstorm for about 2 or 3 hours, about 50 miles an hour, and this looked like it was going to clear. And normally in this situation, it clears off, blows really hard, and then it dies down. 3 or 4 hours later, a new system. But what happened is clouds came in, and then it started snowing, and it whited out. The wind dropped to probably about 40, and the high today was 12 degrees, and wind kept up pretty strong all day. Finally got in a leeward of a big hill here in order to get the camp up, and but all around it felt like a winter day. But I slugged it out and dressed for it, and just kept going. Around 2 o'clock in the whiteout situation, I hadn't seen any open water since the big rapids. It was about 4 or 5 days ago, and there was a questionable spot. I actually spotted it. I can read the current generally by the shoreline, and I actually spotted it on a map. It really looked like an area where the current came in, that the river narrowed down, and what happened there was there was a sandbar, and normally it's just a sandy sandbar, but this one was rocks, black rocks, and it was real steep on one side, and there was a slice of open water, really deep, fast-moving current right next to the shoreline. I was going parallel to the shore. I spotted this situation mainly by this kind of intuition. But I saw looking at these black rocks in this whiteout, I made out just a glimpse of flat, and that was the current moving. And I moved around that, but that was a really dangerous situation. It would have been very easy to ski into that. And it was surrounded by ice that would have collapsed, and the whole thing would have just floated under the ice. All these signs you would have seen on a regular day, but in a whiteout situation, and the irritation of the wind blowing in your face and so forth. But I'm always paying attention. I'm not like really uptight, but I'm always observing. Especially in this area, I had some questions. I was really kind of alert. And an ordinary person would have really probably had a big problem here. But I found it quite interesting that there was open water there, and it was narrowing of the river. Then down about a mile, there was an open section, which was pretty obvious. But anyways, a little excitement got my adrenaline going. Also, the Thelon here is quite forested. It's almost like Black Lake when I first started out 55 days ago. This is the Thelon Oasis here. This is a very unique ecological niche here. We're right within this valley. It's forested, but right over the hill, it's the Barren Lands. And this will go on probably for another 10 or 15 miles here, but it's kind of cool. And the sound of the wind in the trees is really secure sound. Usually there's not much of a sound of wind blowing, but hearing them in the trees here, echoing off the trees, it kind of reminded me of home in a storm. But it's 6 degrees right now. Coming into the tent, it was almost like a winter. I was really cold from the day, but the wind chills were really bad. But I weathered it okay. I'm used to these headwinds. I just put up with them. And then a little bit of snow and some more fresh drifts to maneuver over, but maybe one of these days spring will come. So anyway, spirits are good. Excited as always, and I'll call in. This would have been my mother's 100th birthday, and I'll call in tomorrow. This is Will, over and out.